is Alemeniu as he comes onto the straight on driver's right. He is on pole, pacing the field as they wait for the lights to go green. Long hold, very long hold, away they go. Very quick start from Christian Poulsen on the outside. Where are the BMWs going to come through? Menu guarding the inside line. He's almost on the white line. Javi Villa still trying to come down the inside. So is Norbert Michaelis, and the Chevrolet staying notably away from each other into turn one. Muller's on the outside, gets a little tap behind. Coronel goes off. So too does Villa. So too does Christian Poulsen. And Michaelis is battling for second place with a Seat with Gabriele Tarquini, the world's fastest starter. Norbert Michaelis. And here the crowd on their feet into second place. What a great start for the Hungarian. And where did Tarquini come from? He was in 9th place on the grid. That's another staggering start for Tarquini. And look at that, Muller and Huff together, and off in the background is Dahlgren's Volvo, avoids the gravel trap. Menu leads, Michaelis in second, Tarquini in third, everyone else in fourth. Wow, what a start.
That was an amazing start by Michaelis as well, and obviously Menu did really well to cover the inside line down the first corner. I'm sure that both Chevrolet seem to kind of have a bit of a plan to hold everyone behind them, seem to win.
Well, Huff and Muller are right together. Timing and scoring showing Ivan Muller leading, but patently he's not. That's car number 2. On board with Norbert Michaelis. Did he have a big slide coming off corner 5 up to the back chicane, corner 6 and 7. And there, behind Thiago Monteiro, are Muller and Huff. So that is 7th and 8th already. Great start by Rob Huff. He avoided the dramas. And unfortunately, Ivan Muller, trying to keep the door shut on everybody behind, just got tapped into a spin, or a half spin, a big slide, but he's kept his nose in front. He's on the track, and Darrell Young over the curbs there. Tom Coronel right behind him. That is 8th and 9th place.
Coronel seemed to lose out a little bit there at the start as well.
Darrell going in very deep behind Rob Huff, and he'll be going, no. Don't want to hit that blue thing in front. Different colour, but another Chevrolet driver. Oh, and Monteiro drifts out a little wide. Here comes Muller, and they're going to have to work their way through the field hard here before the tyres go off.
I think Muller's got him there. He's got him at the inside, I think.
He has, hasn't he? And a huge crowd as Michaelis is in second place behind Alemeniu. Tarquini in third with Javi Villa shaping up, and Muller's still inside. Little rear shot of the wing there for Thiago saying, follow me on Twitter. Well, Ivan Muller's not going to follow him, and I don't think Rob Huff will for too long either. And look, he's still there.
He's come back up the inside, I think, hasn't he? Maybe Muller run a little bit wide in the first corner there.
Well, with Huff then, he's going to go down the inside, follow Muller's route. When the doors open, when Ivan's got his foot in that door, here comes Rob as well. So Thiago hung out down the outside as Dahlgren goes down the pit road, but again Thiago cuts back in. This is great cut and thrust racing. Hungaroring boring only for Formula 1 and single-seater cars that demand big aero packages. With these cars where it's a lot about mechanical grip, that's where you get the good racing. And Darrell drifts out very wide in that yellow and orange car, 8th place ahead of Tom Coronel. Darrell Young right behind him, the yellow car of Mikkel Nukia. That's the first of the new petrol turbos, and Dahlgren's getting new tyres, I think. Or has he tweaked the suspension or the steering somewhere? Looks like he's out of contention, but his race 2 grid position is already set. Little damage on the back of Javi Villa's car there as we see him behind Gabriele Tarquini. They are 3rd and 4th. This is going to be all arms and elbows, isn't it? My goodness, what a race.
It'll be interesting to see how the tyres last out on the front wheel drives, and like you say, I think towards the end of the race it's going to be a matter of holding the BMWs behind them rather than necessarily battling with them.
I think that might be the case, and particularly, see now if you're Menu and you've got, he's 1.2 seconds ahead of Michaelis, you've got enough that you can use the racing line, you can be gentle on the tyres, as gentle as you can drive positively. Tarquini though, behind Villa, is having to drive defensively to stop the BMW coming up the inside at every corner, and Harry, that's got to be doing more hard work on the tyres.
Yeah, any movement which isn't necessary, any time you have to tighten the line or try and brake a little bit later, that's all taking energy out of the tyres, and that will be critical towards the end of the race, I think.
Well, there are 3 races going on here. There's Alemeniu in his race. For the Hungarian fans, there's the car in second place, Norbert Michaelis, and then for the rest of them, it's 3rd, 4th, and all the other battles going on down the order.
Michaelis just set the fastest lap of the race there as well, so he is closing in on Menu, only by a 10th, but
good enough. It's enough to make sure that the Chevrolet doesn't escape. What he will want to do is start putting a bit of pressure on, because if he allows Menu to drive his own race, then Menu's not going to overwork the tyres as much as if Norbert is really pushing him. It depends really quite what a car he feels he's got under him. But behind, Tarquini, Villa, Muller, Huff, Monteiro. Finally, Huff has gone by him and Muller's gone by him, and Young in 8th place. Well, let's look at the start again. That's Christian Poulsen on the outside in the white BMW. On the left, Javi Veer coming down the inside. Watch Norbert Michaelis, easy to spot, black and orange. It all just opens up in front of him. The 4 cars that were in front drift out wide in the first corner. This is Muller, tapped like sideways by Coronel.
Yeah, Coronel definitely got into the back of him.
Well, that's Norbert getting into the back of Veer, so that's where Veer's bumper went, and Coronel in the middle there, and Veer was drifting out wide anyway. He just lost a little bit of grip, straight off, and actually he didn't really help Coronel or Muller either there.
No. It's such a tight corner, that first corner, that I guess this was always going to happen.
Oh, and that's Dahlgren, got into the side of Alexei Dudicalo, or vice versa, in that Lukoil Seat, the second of the Lukoil Seats.
It's quite a big whack, that as well. I would imagine that probably won't be out before the start of the next race.
No, well, what they need to do, in fact, they are working on it in the pit road, which you can do during the race, and then when the race finishes, you've got to put it into parc ferme or surrender your grid position. And again, in the top 10 for race 2, you do not want to be doing that. Dahlgren should start in 9th place, which is much better than 26th. Gabriele Tarquini's fans still cheering him on.
Gabriele looks like he's slowing everyone down a little bit. It looks like he's certainly dropping off the back of Michelitz, and seems to be backing the rest of the pack up. So I think we're going to see a battle for the lead here between obviously Menu and Michelitz. And Michelitz again set another fastest lap, almost 4/10 of a lap faster than Menu on that last lap.
Well, now we talked about this in the morning warm-up, didn't we? How yesterday in free practice the drivers were saying even on the BMW, which should be kinder to the tyres, in 4 laps you'd lose a second of performance. That's how the tyres were being worked here, and Muller and Huff at it. Huff trying to go around the Frenchman for 5th position. Oh, and he's looking on the inside. Oh, avoid a Monza problem here, boys. You both need to score, and Rob Huff will have that ultimate priority in front of him. He wants to take every position he can. It's like Andy Priaulx always said, you don't want to leave the dinner in Macau at the end of the year knowing that 1 point here was what stopped you winning the World Championship wherever you are, so you've got to make sure of that. But you've got to finish as well, and when it's your teammate, it's double jeopardy, because you don't just have you off, you have him off as well, and that's bad for the team. But we talked about this morning, and getting back to the point about the tyre wear, in free practice, when you can go in and talk to the engineers and change things, you will, and you'll try and engineer the car to make it better. But in the race, you'll get on with it, and it may well be that the tyre degradation is going to be quite high in the BMW. But Michaelis setting fastest lap after fastest lap, took 4/10 out of Menu. The gap went from 1.1 to 0.69 on the last lap.
Indeed.
I doubt it's half a second now. Look at it.
He's taken a 10th in the first sector, 2/10 in the second sector. He's right with him now.
Yeah, look at that, from 1.2 to 1.1, and now 7/10 of a second, and he is going quicker and quicker. And this is absolutely what he has to do. Now he's got in his head the fact that he needs to push and push and push. Menu's not going to give this away. But I tell you what, if Nigel Mansell reckons that crowd power was worth 2 seconds a lap at Silverstone, what's it doing for Norbert Michaelis now?
It's definitely working here.
Do you think he can actually hear the crowd? He probably can't, but I bet he can darn well see those flags. Behind, Javi Veer's just dropped a bit of bumper lip. Yeah, me too. Goose flesh on your arms there from the team boss. Me too. It's the same thing above that crowd.
I wonder how much, whether Alain Menu's maybe seen that there's a big gap behind Michelitz and knows that he doesn't need to pull away too hard now, and he might be trying to save his tyres a little bit.
Oh, here comes Veer. He's got a good run on Tarquini. Down the hill into corner 3. Tarquini has the inside line, but Veer now, like Michelitz, is starting to exert some real pressure, and it looks as though he's got an advantage, and he needs to get on with it, because look who's behind. Muller and Huff, and they're coming.
Villa looks, he's really looking pretty racy now behind Tarquini. I'm pretty sure it's a matter of time before he does make that move.
Coronel.
Is that Darrell Young and Tom Coronel? They're still at it.
Yeah, still hard at it. Coronel just about making contact with the back of Darrell Young. Oh, it wasn't just about. We caught the end of that, didn't we? But yeah, Coronel had his nose inside, trying to pick up the place, just couldn't quite manage it. But again, Veer, like Michaelis, really piling pressure. Now, and you know, Norbert is looking in the mirrors and there's nothing there. Veer can see every time he checks, that flipping Chevrolet is just a little closer. He knows he's got to get on with the program, get by Gabriele, leave Gabriele to hold the Chevys up, and then Javi can try and escape. You know, he knows it's for third. The team will be telling him everything that's going. Marco will be telling him how much, you know, the Chevys are coming and how quick Michaelis is able to go in clear air. And look at the difference. Mikulits on his own behind Menu is a second a lap quicker than Via can go, held up by Tarquini.
Yeah,
so Via's got to get on with it.
Looking at the times, you can see everybody's dropped off. It actually looks like Mikulits is the only guy who seems to be still really right in there the time, although he must have made a bit of a mistake that lap. It was dropped down to 59.
Yeah, he was a 157 last lap, 159.3 this lap, and in fact that's given Alain Menu a bit of breathing space. He's opened up the gap first to second, but we're looking at the battle for third. Red and white car of Tarquini ahead of Javi Villa and Huff and Muller. Again, Muller was defending hard against Huff, as Young does against Coronel for 8th and 9th. Just in front of them, Thiago Montero. And again, Muller locking up. Huff is attacking hard. Doesn't seem to be a lot going on, but there definitely is, as Young holds on again from Coronel. Well, this battle continues. Daryl O'Young, rear bumper flapping. Tom Coronel right behind him, and again the BMW is definitely looking quicker than that Chevrolet, and of course that is the same Chevrolet crew, same engine, same gearbox, same basic setup that the blue factory cars have got. So Bamboo Engineering have got a quick car, but Coronel with a big lock-up on the inside. But look at the traction advantage he's got coming up from the run up to corner 5 through the chicane. Again, now it's all 4 cars together. This is 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th, and Muller is right in front of Rob Huff. And Huff really in this queue is probably in, well, actually Tarquini is obviously because he's third and holding them up, but Huff in the best position to attack because he's got nothing in the mirrors. He can look for the gaps to open up in front. Yeah, and he can preserve his tyres as well. He can, you know, it's up to him whether he takes a lunge up the inside, but if he does it, then everybody else has to react to that and defend. And not only is he doesn't have anyone behind him, the guys in front of him obviously defending and attacking at the same time. Right, drive-through penalty for Daryl O'Young, number 9, 17 Mikkel Nukia, and 25 which is Mehdi Banani for missing the apex of turn 4, by which they don't mean missing, by which they mean cutting inside the apex of turn 4. I have to say, you know, in qualifying, that's understandable because you can gain an advantage. When you're racing somebody and you're defending hammer and tongs against somebody that's, you know, rubbing up the side of you, rubbing into the back of you, I'm afraid that is a rubbish penalty. Giving somebody a drive-through for trying to hold on to a race position. It's not jumping a chicane at Monza, going straight through and coming out 50 metres further up the road. No. This is absolutely knife fighting, close racing, and the stewards have got to stop ruining races with stupid decisions. It certainly seems very, very harsh. We were talking about it this morning, saying I wonder what the situation would be if anyone does go through it, but you know, I haven't seen Tom Coronel be penalised, and he's hit numerous people already, and you know, maybe a little mistake on the brakes by Daryl, but like you say, a drive-through seems pretty harsh. Yeah, I mean, you know, when he and Coronel have collided and Daryl's been edged off the circuit, then through the pit lane has gone Mehdi Banani. He's taken his drive-through. There is Rob Huff in 6th position, and from 12th place, maybe he would have hoped to have got a little higher. But certainly, he made good progress through the first corners, and good news for him, his closest championship rival, Ivan Muller, could have been an awful lot further forward in 2nd. Instead, he got edged further back, so he's only a couple of points in front of Huff. So the gap will remain over Muller pretty consistently, although of course Menu, if he does end up winning this, will be a little closer in front. And I'm sure Rob's thinking that as well. He can probably afford to lose a few points to Alain, but certainly with Ivan, he wants to try and stay with him as much as possible. And I wonder if he's thinking now, you know, I'll just like hold this position, there's nothing too much behind me to bother me as long as I finish the race where I am. That's pretty good result from a bad qualifying. Absolutely right. 6 laps down, and after this 5 remaining, so we've just passed the halfway point. Now the question is, have the BMWs got anything left to show the front-wheel drive cars in terms of rear-wheel drive versus front-wheel drive tyre exhaustion? Alain Menu still leads. 2nd place, as you can hear, just going by us, Norbert Mikulits 1.3 seconds behind again. The balance is just seesawing a little. Mikulits a couple of tenths quicker that last lap. And here comes the battle for 3rd. Tarquini, hiding behind him is Villa. And then Muller and Huff. And again, look, you can see the gap between the BMW there and the first of the Chevrolets opened up again on the last lap, and that means that Huff is attacking Muller still, and Muller's defending and not able to attack Tarquini. He's having another look at the inside, well, around the outside now, but no, unless he can cut back. This is where the BMW is quite strong, especially at this point in the race. It can use the throttle to tighten the car up in the middle of the corner, maybe try and nip up the inside. I think where it will have a big advantage will be coming on the start-finish straight. It's such a long sweeping corner, and probably the best overtaking opportunity on the next corner. Well, Daryl Young has to come in next lap to serve his drive-through penalty. The other two have. Mikko Nuka's just gone through the pit lane, so he's dropped out of 11th place as we watch the battle for third. Gabriele